So we spoke about relationships, but why are relationships important? Well, relationships are important because we are social beings. We can't live in isolation. We didn't thrive in isolation. We couldn't have. We thrived in groups. We grew in groups. And because of that, our world is so massive right now. There are 7 billion people and growing. I contributed to that. I had 2 little boys, so I'd like to say, that's a wonderful thing that we are growing and that we are building relationships. We need people because we need to connect. We need to feel like we are liked. We need to feel like we are paid attention to, that we are taken seriously, that people know we're here. Individuals, even those who want to be alone. If you think about it, a character like Wednesday Addams is someone who keeps talking about wanting isolation and wanting to be alone and wanting to just write and, just kind of do her own thing. But somehow, some way, she acts in accordance with making friends. This is an unconscious acting out, right? And that's because the part of her that is human is looking for companionship, even if she doesn't want to admit it. So even if people say, and you might be one of them, I just want to be by myself. I don't really like people. I like to be by myself. I can trust myself. I don't trust other people. So you were probably burned in the past, and that makes sense. But that doesn't mean that every single person that you're going to encounter is going to be some awful person that you don't trust or that is going to do something to hurt you. Instead, it's helpful to mend that trauma. It's helpful to process where that came from. So then this way you can live a life that's not only authentic, but also live a life with people that are similar to you. Maybe of similar age, maybe of similar culture, maybe of similar interest. Whatever the case may be, we need people. So this is why it's important to build a relationship with the self, because once you have a solid and secure, balanced relationship with yourself, that means you have confidence, you are able to understand what you like, what you don't like, what your boundaries are. You can articulate yourself well enough to establish those boundaries, and you're able to build healthy relationships. And then you're not in a position of people pleasing because you need to collect relationships, because you want to collect people as if you're desperate for people because you were so depleted of not having people when you were younger and left alone with your big emotions. Right? So instead of all of this pain just circling in your mind and inducing these intrusive thoughts, you are able to connect with yourself, connect with others, openly communicate what you need, what you want, and have an understanding of what your goals are and your purpose. That's essentially what happiness is. It's not handed to you on a platter. Here you go, here's some happiness, with a little garnish of excitement, yay! No. What ends up happening in reality, and this is supported by research, and I've seen this over the last 20 years, professionally working with many different people who struggle with many different things, when you are able to build a relationship with yourself, a secure, authentic relationship with yourself, you can mend the wounded inner child. You're better able to have relationships with other people. People who are similar to you and who will bring you up and make you feel good. And you surround yourself more and more with those people. You're not in a position to people please. You don't need to, because like I mentioned, you're not collecting people. When you're able to do this, and able to have a sense of meaning and purpose and know what your goal is. If your goal is to open up your own business, then do it. What's stopping you? If your goal is to learn how to play guitar, then do it. What is stopping you? You are the one who is stopping yourself. It is your responsibility for your happiness. Just because things happened in the past and other things are going to be out of our control. There are a lot of things that we do not have control over that we're going to have to cope with or process. For instance, if you're working for a company, especially a large corporation, and you're not too sure if they're going to be filing for bankruptcy, you might lose your job. That's not your fault. It's just unfortunate situation and you have to deal with it. But you don't have to crumble and fall apart. You can be more responsive than you are reactive, right? You can now live in accordance with what you want to do. Maybe that job that you were laid off from wasn't a job that you were passionate about. It was just a job that allowed you to pay the bills. But now you have an opportunity to open up that business. So do those amazing things. Build the relationship with yourself. Because not only is this a short life to live, but there's something amazing waiting for you on the other side. Start living in line with your authentic sense of self. Build those relationships with the self. And then you start to feel grateful for what you have and excited to set goals and achieve more for you. Let us help you. My associates can help schedule a complimentary consultation. Just click the link below and we'll help you to identify what your goals are and how to get there, what you need to get there, and what might get in the way of you getting there. You don't have to live a life that you do not like. You don't have to wake up feeling miserable because you're doing the same thing day in and day out just to pay the bills. You can do something exceptional. It's your choice.